Hello, I'm James Goulding, editor of Technology Reseller magazine, and I'm here today with David Tulip, Director, MSP EMEA at Egnyte, a unified platform for protecting and managing your company content. He's going to be talking about the channel strategy and what Egnyte offers MSPs. David, great to have you here today.
Sure, James, good to see you. I can't think when I last did, but we bumped into each other here and there, so nice to catch up.
But perhaps to start with, if you could give me a quick overview of Egnyte and where they sit in the market.
Egnyte's been around for a fair amount of time now, founded in 2007 out of the San Francisco Bay Area. A time when it was difficult to get some finance in the world as the world was turning crazy. So 18 years old, and maybe the oldest startup in town. Who knows? Maybe we can touch on that a little bit later. But in terms of what they are, well, they were founded as a cloud file server. So back then, when this thing, we were talking about the cloud quite a bit back then, will it, won't it, and all those good things. But that's what it was founded as, a cloud file server. Today, it's evolved into a collaboration tool. It's all around your data in terms of how you use it, how you protect it, and get the best value out of probably what your greatest asset is as a company. So it's evolved quite a bit into what it is today. And I call it Sharepoint for adults, which again, maybe we can dig into a little bit later. I'm a person that you will know, but maybe the listeners don't. I tend to dump things down. So it's a collaboration file sharing tool, which also has some great tools around governance and compliance.
So Egnyte's been around for, 18 years. What sort of presence has it had in the UK and EMEA?
Yeah, it's been long established here, although it maybe established isn't the correct word. It's long had a presence here. It goes back to 2014, having an office in Bracknell. Today, our office for the UK and the EMEA region is in Reading. But it's really grown and expanded. So today, in the UK, we have 40 people. We have a further 200 plus out of Poland, where much of our engineering is done and our operations are run from. Globally, we're approaching 1,300 people. So back to the UK, been here for a good amount of time, but if I go back, probably just 6 years, would only be a dozen people here pre-COVID.
Okay, so you are sort of growing your presence, hence presumably your appointment as Director MSP EMEA. Is that a new role?
No, it's not. There was someone in that position before, but I guess there's more of a commitment to channel right now. It's been there. It's probably been a poor relation. We're certainly evolving the channel piece. Lots of exciting things happen. A business which has had a channel for a really long time. It goes back probably a dozen years in terms of a channel presence across the world, including some business here in the UK, some partners. But I don't think it's not been a channel first business, to be very clear. It's been very much more direct and enterprise. But some real key changes have come in the past 6 months or so as we look to really bolster and build the channel in what we're doing.
And what sort of inspired that sort of greater focus on the channel?
I'm probably biased here, I suppose, in as much as I think the channel's super important and it's somewhere we need to be. I think the best companies have both a direct and a channel motion. I think customers often, the larger they are, like to be looked after direct. Not always the case, but often the case. Sometimes as you come down that food chain, maybe I still, as an end user customer, like to be looked after direct, but maybe I'm better looked after by a managed service provider or a reseller or a partner opposed to a direct org. So I think the company recognises that to grow and scale, they really recognise and back the importance of the channel now, and I'm just a part of that jigsaw.
And so what are the benefits for MSPs in partnering with Egnyte?
I guess they're huge. Let me go back actually to, I mentioned Sharepoint for adults. Listen, I've built an MSP, I've bought an MSP, I've merged an MSP. I say I've been an MSP for 30 years, which is clearly a lie because we weren't MSPs 30 years ago. I guess I was a value-added reseller 30 years ago, so I'm a channel guy. MSPs, resellers all supply Microsoft, and why wouldn't they? You know, it's a great product, great company, great tools. If you look at SharePoint, it wasn't built to be a file server. It was built as an intranet, a tool for sharing documents internally. So a benefit for MSPs, I suggest, with Egnyte is that it is more capable in handling certain files. So if you're an MSP that's being hit on your support desk for tickets around SharePoint too often, maybe there's a better and a smarter way. Again, SharePoint's great and it will serve 70% of end user requirements, I would suggest. But But at certain points, it starts to creak. Maybe the files are too large. Maybe the file names are too long. Maybe how I'm trying to work across my organization in terms of where I'm located creates a challenge. Maybe VPN's a problem. Maybe the applications that I'm using, maybe in a firm of architects, for example, are creating problems around how you collaborate and work together, or in media or film. So Egnyte steps in those sort of instances and will save the MSP money because it will take less resource on their service and support desk. Equally important is it will save the customer money because it will save them the problems of working inefficiently and the challenge that comes with. So again, back to, and SharePoint's just an example, but back to that example, again, SharePoint for adults or SharePoint on steroids, it serves that environment really, really well. It solves those problems, it takes away those pains, and you're going to have a much better experience as an MSP, and you've got the opportunity to make recurring revenues too, rather than maybe a one-off project.
We hear a lot about compliance and governance in the MSP world as a sort of new opportunity. Does Egnyte play into that?
Well, it certainly does. And James, as you know, I was with the network group until 4 months ago, heading a community of approaching 90 MSPs across the UK and Ireland. Something I've spoken about with that room of people is the direction of travel. As an MSP, you need to keep evolving. Otherwise, MSP services becoming commoditized. So you need to keep moving. And one of the discussions we've had within that room was the need to evolve into things like regulation and compliance, that they're areas that aren't going away. So how do you govern your data? How do you control that? Or how do you do that on behalf of your customers? So it's a great opportunity to move into that space. I'm not saying it's the only space that MSPs could or should move, but I think it's a key one because, as I said, regulation across industry is something that's only becoming tighter and not changing.
Egnyte is benefiting from MSPs, helping you expand and extend your reach, and they're gaining sort of extra capabilities from partnering with Egnyte. So what are you doing to attract those MSPs?
Yeah, again, we have quite a good number already, in fairness, some really key partners. A couple other things, actually, if you don't mind, James, just in terms of maybe some of the benefits there. So certainly it saves some time on support desk. It creates some recurring revenues. It gives you a good customer experience. Something I've learned, which I'm finding amazing, but super positive, and I'd like to think I made a very deliberate decision. I wasn't looking to go anywhere, to be honest with you. This just kind of presented and happened. And I'd done my due diligence, knowing it was a market opportunity. But in terms of the company, it's a product-first company, which I guess many would say, but what we often see and experience is something maybe a little bit different. There's so many good IT products and services out there. And let's say those really good ones are maybe 90% good. What I'm sensing and feeling and hearing as I talk to end user customers, I talk to partners, to resellers and to MSPs, I think we're 5 nines. It's kind of the Hoover of its space. It's the name, and it's really, really well known in the space that it plays. But I don't think, because of the lack of true channel focus, we've really exploited that here in region today. So back to your question of what we want to do for partners, how we can attract them, I guess that's one of the reasons I'm here. I feel like I'm maybe an SDR in terms of my role, with a different title, maybe a different pay grade, but I'm here. So I'm just a small cog in this wheel as we've made some global changes. We've got a VP of Global Sales, Bob Gagnon, out of the States. We've got Gardner Smith, who brings great experience heading up the global VAR business, and myself looking after the MSP in EMEA, plus 2 peers of mine in the US looking after North American and ANZAC business as well. So we're making a real commitment into this space to go forward and grow it. So it's a really, really exciting time.
And do you have any sort of targets for the number of MSPs you want to recruit, and are there particular qualities you look for in those MSPs?
So for me, it's more about the last word, qualities, or quality of MSP, rather than the quantity of MSP or VAR. Now, there will be a volume play, because there always is, but I'm looking to get those who have a mind share for Egnyte. We have MSP partners today that are Egnyte first. In fact, it's in their stack. So if an end user customer doesn't take Egnyte, they don't become a customer of that MSP. Now, that would be marvellous and wonderful. I'm not sure that I'm expecting that of everyone. However, what a bold play, but that's part of their security and governance play in terms of how they look after their clients. What I'm really looking for are people that want to grow their MSP. I think it's important to be different as an MSP. Again, having sat in that space, having sold managed services, how do you differentiate from that MSP next to you? Because we all say we're great and we all say we're best value, but how do you really back that? And I think Egnyte is an example of where you can be different, where you can lead with something else or give an alternative. I don't necessarily want people to switch them into SharePoint. In fact, we can complement SharePoint too with our secure and governed product. Okay, so it isn't necessarily a SharePoint or Egnyte play. There may be arguments why it would be. But yeah, I think I'm looking for mind share, people that want to do it. One of the challenges in the MSP space, James, is typically they're accidental entrepreneurs, people that have wound up running a business. There's some really mature MSPs out there too. And the difference between the 1, the 5, the 10, the 20, the £100 million MSP is sales function. They typically work their way out and got some marketing. But there are many that sit below that are technology focused, operationally focused. That's good, but struggle with sales. So I recognise that an MSP taking on Egnyte, there's probably a bit of a life cycle with it. Again, most MSPs, let's say they've got 2,500 endpoints. Maybe they've got 50 customers of 50 people. Yeah, again, depending where you are geographically and what your focus is. But let's just take that as an example. I'm guessing not all of them are going to go use Egnyte. As much as I would love that, and maybe I should say they could and should and will, the reality, let's say 70% are right for it. So it takes some time for an MSP to take that message out. And I think maybe after engaging, and it's a pretty simple sale because often you're solving a problem. You're solving a problem where customers are struggling with collaboration or they're concerned about data privacy and governance. So it's an easy discussion. But because maybe a lack of sales confidence and ability, maybe it takes a little bit of time, maybe it's 3 to 6 months. And then maybe there's a time after that. I'd love to see the perfect customer for me is an MSP that brings some business every quarter. I'll take deals far more frequently than that, but I want to see people that are enabled, that get it and understand it and have it in their mind share. Again, I'm not asking them to sell it to everyone, but to have it as a part of their discussion and to be looking to be different and put it in the right places.
And what can partners expect from Egnyte in the next sort of 12 months?
Yeah, there's a good question. I think they'll see us a lot more. If I go back, Egnyte's a name I've known for nearly 4 years. But it's not been up in lights, and it really should be, because again, back to it being such a first class, first rate product, it should be known and seen everywhere. We're in end user customers from Red Bull down to probably Fred in his shed, so there isn't a limitation upon size or anything like that in terms of what we do or where we scale up or down. In terms of what we'll do, you're going to see much more of us, and that's one of my roles. I'm just back from PAX 8 in Denver. I'm here in Dublin at the moment for the Kaseya event. We're looking to raise our profile. We're looking to be seen further in this space, and we just launched a new partner portal. I'm skeptical of such things. I'm going, it's another partner portal, another program, all these sort of good things. However, for those that have known Egnyte, that hasn't been our strength. Again, because much we've had commitment to channel, it's not been our core focus, and right now that has switched. So you're going to see much more of us. You're going to see, if you're not working with Egnyte, you're going to see others working with Egnyte, maybe penetrating your customers or working on deals that you're trying to win. So yeah, we're going to be everywhere. That's what you're going to see, and we're going to be winning the right partners, helping them to drive their business and win some good clients themselves. We've got some of the biggest partners already across the region. Nostra work with us, for example, just as one name check there. They're a SharePoint first organisation. However, they recognise the importance and need for others. So yeah, you're going to see us, James, is what's going to happen in the channel, I'd suggest.
So there's a lot to look forward to for partners who want to, or for MSPs, potential partners who want to find out more. How should they get in touch with you?
Egnyte.com. Now, the key thing there is probably to spell it right, because, it's EGNYTE.com. Get on the website, just drop a message. You can apply for partnership. A lot of people know me. Find me on LinkedIn, David Tulip. The Tulip at Egnyte.com. There's many ways you'll find your way to us. You're going to see us, but my suggestion is via the website, complete a form, and we'll be in touch with you. We've got great resources here already in EMEA. 3 partner sales managers for MSP. We've just put someone else into VARs. There's 2 VAR people. We've got a number of direct sellers that can also help our MSPs with their sales. So we want to be partner first going forward. So we're looking to really create a channel that coexists with what we've got and also support that with some sales expertise as well.
Well, thank you, David, very much for that overview and explanation of all the exciting things you've got coming up.
No problem. Great to be with you, James. Thanks for your time.